God called my wife and I to Singapore about a dozen years ago. He gave us a vision for China and how building spiritual leaders in Singapore could really contribute to building the church in China. Because Singaporeans come from a Chinese ethnic heritage, they speak Chinese as well as English. And for the past 10 years, we've been working at building spiritual leaders through personal mentoring, investing in them. And now we've got, the past couple of years, we've had Singaporean pastors that have joined CRM staff that are making mentoring their ministry. And I sense it's time for us to start looking beyond Singapore to how we can start blessing the other nations in Asia. I was doing a one-day seminar with pastors about 2 months ago. I had about 15 pastors in the room. And while we were going through the seminar, I sensed the Lord say to me, look at these pastors and how much work it is to get Singapore pastors together for something like this. But he said, all around here, the countries all around are dying for this kind of investment, personal investment. And so I realized it's time for us to start moving out beyond Singapore to build mentors, build spiritual leaders in other countries in Asia. And so as we talk through as a staff, our board in CRM Singapore, we've got a new vision for actually building apostolic teams in every country in Asia that are going to be able to nurture and invest in and build spiritual leaders for the church and to reach their communities for Christ. In Singapore, our vision is that through our CRM ministry, our staff, our mentoring relationships, the programs that we do, that we're going to be able to resource spiritual leaders for every church and every ministry in Singapore. And Singapore isn't that big a place, and we've already made a good influence over the past 10 years in personally mentoring, training leaders, investing in churches. But we want to keep building on that. And we kind of want to keep reaching into churches, helping strengthen them, giving them a vision for how they can reach out. So that's our first work that we're going to continue doing. But then a few years ago, we realized it had to go beyond just the relational aspect, and CRM actually had to become a platform where some people could live out their God-given calling. So we created a structure, we created an organization, staff have started joining. So that's the second thing that's really important to us, is to be an empowering culture to help build and develop people. And CRM Singapore as an organization can be a context where they can be fruitful and they can live out their calling. So we've got staff now, but we anticipate we're recruiting missionaries also. Singaporean missionaries that are going to join CRM in Singapore to minister to countries around Asia. In 2010, we're going to start exploring where can we find opportunities to start mentoring movements, start building spiritual leaders in other countries. So I've asked all of us, our staff, to each adopt one country and start looking at how can we network, find people that we can start developing relationships with, invest in them, build them, and then start seeing how can we attract others and create some mentoring groups and, Lord willing, move into mentoring movements and start a team that would be a mentoring resource team for that country to invest in the lives of spiritual leaders, to build them and reproduce them for God's kingdom. So as we're moving forward, those are the things I'm most excited about right now. How God is going to keep enabling, equipping CRM Singapore, both to resource the churches in Singapore by building spiritual leaders, to become a platform that allow people to live out their God-given calling, and then, Lord willing, as we start going out to other Asian countries, to start initiating and building apostolic mentoring teams that are going to build spiritual leaders in their country to reach their countries for Christ.